Let's do recipe number 6, our Italian sausage and peppers. I have some other stories people have sent me. Maybe I can read them while I'm adding our peppers. So our sweet peppers, our bell peppers are orange, which I already sliced, yellow, and the red one, which I'm going to slice in one moment. So let's see. Maureen said, my whole family gave this 2 thumbs up. Their only complaint was that there wasn't enough for more. So Maureen's family wants leftovers. That's great. Lori, I made this in the crock pot yesterday. It was amazing. And then Carol said, this is one of the first recipes I tried. I love it. I love cooking and cooked for a large family most of my life. I made many frozen meals, but not frozen raw. I am now widowed and cook for 1. This recipe I split into 3 disposable storage tins. I do this sort of thing with many of my freezer meals because it gives me an assortment of homemade meals for lunch and dinner without buying the unflavored frozen dinners at the grocery store. I love fresh frozen meals. Amazing. Yes. So you can really make these work, whether you are cooking for a big family like mine, or if you're only cooking for 1 or 2. I can share some tips with you. So most of the recipes have 6 servings. I think even if you're cooking for 4 people, that's totally fine. And isn't it amazing to have leftovers? Like, any other leftover lovers, they're so good for lunch, or even dinner. If you don't want to cook another day that week, you can eat the leftovers. If, however, I understand if you're only cooking for 1 person or maybe even 2 people and you don't want a lot of leftovers, there are ways to make that work. So my first suggestion is to split each recipe into 2 freezer bags. So you're still making the full recipe. You just split it into 2 bags and you can cook it same cooking directions. That way you're still using all of your ingredients. So if a recipe calls for a can of beans or a pound of meat, you're not left thinking, okay, if I only made half, what would I do with the rest of it? It's like you just split into 2 bags, use all the ingredients, you cook them the same, and you have double the meals, right? There was a time when my grandparents were living at home, and that's exactly what I did. I picked 10 recipes, I split them into 20 bags, I took some over in batches, and it was just a really easy way to cut the recipes down for less people. I'm going to add 2 tablespoons of olive oil. Okay. We already have our peppers. And then I want to share a tip for you about onions. So this calls for a sliced onion. Whenever I'm doing a big batch of meals, I will buy these frozen diced onions. They're very inexpensive, often like $1 a bag. I just buy them at my local grocery store chain. This bag is 12 ounces. It has about 3.5 cups. I consider that to be 3.5 onions. I typically will add like a cup in place of 1 onion. I will tell you, I planned it. So these recipes today have 3 onions. We're going to use this whole bag. I'll probably just add a little bit more to each one. No, I don't want any leftovers today. So that's a really easy way to save time. Otherwise you're crying and you're just chopping. It takes a lot of extra time. So that's a really time-saving tip. Let's add garlic. I'm going to do my minced garlic, another time saver. This is all in your freebie. It's all in your shopping list to just make, when you're making your meals, a total breeze. We need basil and oregano, half a teaspoon of each. And then I will add the sausage links when I add the meat at the end. All right. I love this recipe. Is so good. This is one that can be in the oven. So great in the oven. Also crock pot, instant pot. So I tried to give you a lot of options with your cooking options. Let's move.